hold up.
Water, 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 water.
Man, I'm really thirsty. I can show you some water. Oh, hey, look, there's some water over there.
Wait, what are you doing? That water's polluted.
What's pollution?
I'll tell you what it is. Pollution is anything that makes the environment dirty or unhealthy. Land, air, water, they're all affected by pollution. Polluted runoff, or stormwater runoff, is water from the rain or melting snow that stays in the land instead of going into the ground. The rain washes off driveways, roads, and other hard surfaces, which lead to pollution. Pollution originated due to a contamination from human and animal waste. This caused the major outbreak of diseases like cholera. Polluted runoff can be seen as the majority of pollution in the ocean. When it rains, or when people water the lawn or washes their cars, water picks up pollutants that will be carried to the drains. Unlike the sewer system, there are a lot of cities that do not have a treatment plant to treat the runoff problem. Finally, the pollutants found on the land will end up in creeks and rivers, and eventually will flow into the ocean. Most pollutants found in runoff include trash, pet waste, fertilizers, dirt, etc. Can harm marine life, endanger human health, and lead to greatly ocean contamination. Sources like factories releases pollutants into the water, therefore increasing the ocean contamination. Other sources will send their waste to treatment plants to be treated. Sewage treatment plants will deal with human waste and send it to a stream that will send it finally to the ocean.
Yeah, I know something only I know. I got superpowers, but that's
Wow, marine pollution sure sounds like a big issue, but how does it affect us globally?
Good question. Why don't you take a seat and I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
Ocean pollution is defined as the presence or introduction into a marine environment of a substance that is harmful or has toxic effects. Marine pollution comes in a variety of shapes and sizes. For example, raw sewage. Many underdeveloped countries do not have clean water to drink, let alone sewage to flush away everyday waste. In these areas, outhouses with shallow holes are dug and are used to keep one's waste away from their living quarters. Unfortunately, as time progresses, much of the waste from these outhouses seep into shallow aquifers, often the area's only resource for clean drinking water. The same problem affects villages that utilize flowing water from rivers or streams as their source of waste disposal. Downstream, another village may encounter the waste, and that dramatically affects their water quality. Further, the practice of diluting one's waste with naturally flowing bodies of water can lead to a disturbance in the natural nitrogen cycle. This cycle directly correlates to the amount of dissolved oxygen in a body of water, and if that is out of balance, then many of the critters that call that ecosystem home will be affected as well. Another prime example of marine pollution would be oil pollution. Oil pollution is defined as the release of a liquid petroleum hydrocarbon into the body of water, a river, a stream, a lake, etc. Oil enters the marine environment through the following main methods: vehicles on land, recreational and commercial boating, oil spills, and deep seeps. Seeps occur naturally when the oil, which is lighter than water, seeps into an air column at the ocean's bottom. These seeps account for 60% of oil pollution found in North America. Vehicles on land emit small amounts of oil through their exhaust. This then condenses on the roads and is left for the next rain to wash away. Unfortunately, for the marine ecosystem, this water is eventually returned, all the while carrying trace amounts of oil alongside. And finally, oil spills. These account for only 8% of all ocean pollution. These can occur when a tanker is in an accident or when an oil drilling platform explodes, much like what happened in 2010 with the Deepwater Horizon spill. Plastics are some of the biggest problems facing marine ecosystems today. Physical plastic, as in the typical household plastic waste that are entering our oceans at a rate of 8 million tons per year. China, Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam are the world's top contributors to this problem. The sum of these 5 countries' pollution rates are greater than the entire world combined. Once the plastic enters the ocean, it is free to biodegrade, only taking between 450 and 600 years for the average plastic bottle. That is, if a whale or other marine critter doesn't mistake it for food and attempt to consume it. The most recent reported circumstance of this case happened in February of 2017 off the coast of Norway. A sperm whale was found struggling in the bay and had to be euthanized. Later on, it was discovered to have over 30 plastic bags lodged in its stomach's digestive tract. Thought dead whales were bad? It gets worse. Plastics can degrade down to the range measured in ppm. As it continues on a journey of biodegradation, plastics are broken up into 2 main compounds: BPA and PS oligomer. Both are known carcinogens for humans, being pumped into our oceans at a rate of 8 million tons per year. These microscopic plastics are then absorbed by fish as water flows over their gills.
Like really, bro, hold up. Why your whole clique gotta have his nose up? On my neck and my wrist all froze up. Why am I?
Now you can see how big of an impact we really have on the environment.
Yeah, but how does this affect all of us?
That's a brilliant question. Let me tell you. Many bodies of water near urban areas are highly polluted. This is the result of both garbage dumped by individuals and dangerous chemicals legally or illegally dumped by manufacturing industries, health centers, schools, and marketplaces. The main problem caused by pollution is that it kills organisms that depend on these water bodies. Dead fish, crabs, birds, seagulls, dolphins, and many other animals wind up on beaches killed by pollutants in their habitat. This diagram right here shows how humans are affected by water pollution. Little fish eat tiny organic particles in the water, and then they're eaten by bigger fish, and then us humans eat those fish. Eventually, humans are affected by this process as well. People get diseases such as hepatitis by eating seafood that has been poisoned. In many poor nations, there was always outbreak of cholera and diseases as a result of poor drinking water treatment from contaminated waters. For example, what happened in Flint, Michigan. 40% of America's rivers and 46% of America's lakes are too polluted for fishing, swimming, or aquatic life. There is 1.2 trillion gallons of untreated sewage, stormwater, and industrial waste that are discharged in the U.S. waters annually. Polluted drinking waters are a problem for about half the world's population. Each year, there is about 250 million cases of water-based diseases, resulting in roughly 5 to 10 million deaths. In 2010, there was a huge spill in America by BP. Of the 400 miles of the Louisiana coast, approximately 125 miles have been polluted by the oil spill. Over 1,000 animals, including birds, turtles, and all other kinds of mammals, have been reported dead, including many already on the endangered species list. Of the animals affected by the spill that are still alive, only about 6% have been reported clean, but many biologists and other scientists predict that they're gonna die too. In November of 2012, BP agreed on a settlement with the US government worth $4.5 billion, including a $1.26 billion criminal fine. In April of 2010, the Transocean oil rig exploded, killing 11 workers. The disaster also damaged the Gulf of Mexico, causing one of the biggest environmental disasters in US history. In January of 2013, the company paid $400 million in criminal penalties and an additional $1 billion civil fine after pleading guilty to violating the Clean Water Act. In developing countries, 70% of industrial waste are dumped into untreated waters where they pollute the usable water supply. Now, how does the world use this fresh water? About 70% is for irrigation, 22% is for industry, and the other 8% is for domestic use. A lack of safe water and sanitation in cities can lead to cholera, malaria, and diarrhea. The U.S. tourism industry loses close to $1 billion each year, mostly from losses in fishing and recreational activities because of the nutrient-polluted water bodies. In Mississippi alone, tourism in the 3 counties that border the Gulf Coast accounts for about $1.6 billion in visitor expenditures, 32% of state travel and tourism tax revenues, and 24,000 direct jobs.
You know, that all sounds pretty terrible, but what can we do to resolve it?
Well, there's a lot of things that we can do to fix the issue.
I hold back sometimes I won't.
We should minimize the use of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers. Do not dispose of these chemicals, motor oil, or automotive fluids into the sanitary sewer or storm sewer systems. Another thing we can do is avoid using the toilet as a wastebasket. Most tissues, wrappers, dust, cloths, and other paper goods should be properly discarded into a wastebasket. The fiber-reinforced cleaning products that have become popular should never be discarded in the toilet. Another way we could fix this problem is by raising awareness about the issue. For example, in the movie Happy Feet, a major topic of discussion is how water pollution negatively affects the penguins. There was a scene with the penguin choking on the plastic from a 6-pack bottle. This movie was very popular with the younger generation, so it definitely helped raise a lot of awareness about the issue.
It's crazy how marine pollution can affect all walks of life, from our homes to the oceans.
It's a shame how harmful it really is to the environment.
Yeah, but it's up to us to be the change we want to see in the world.
Hey,
Hey.
The in life and danger. Danger. I can't do this.
You're almost done.
Just stop.
Ooh.
I'll do that again.
Raw sewage. Oh, you know what? That didn't work out. I need a better translation. The natural seeps occur naturally. That's not sterile, etc. I don't want that one, I'm sorry. The whale or another marine.
This outbreak of chlorea and diseases. What is it?
Cholera.
Chlorea. These can lead to cholera.
Cholera.
In the movie Happy Feet, okay, now let me say Happy Feet, a main topic of water pollution can. Alright.
Oh my god.
Happy Feet, I gotta catch it. Happy Feet, a main topic of discussion, the penguin choking on the plastic. I had it that time. There's a lot of awareness about the issue.
No.
Okay, I'm not. That part's not gonna be in there anyway.
Bad.
Revenge.